clerk to post on PCCC website of voting boards on November 21st, 2024.
Roll call.
Alumni Rep Buchanan. Trustee Octor.
Here.
Trustee Drakeford. Trustee Globen.
Mike, you're on mute.
Here.
Trustee Diodene.
Present.
Trustee Moody.
Yes.
Trustee Poe. Trustee Ramirez.
Present.
Trustee Smith.
Present.
Trustee Sumter.
Present.
Vice Chair Tanis.
Present.
Chairman Marco.
First order of business is consideration of the minutes of January 21st, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting. Are there any corrections to the minutes?
Acceptance of the minutes.
Trustee Sumter and Trustee Ramirez.
Trustee Octor.
Yes.
Trustee Globen.
Yes.
Trustee Diodene.
Yes.
Trustee Moody.
Dane.
Trustee Ramirez.
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Trustee Sumter.
Yes.
Vice Chair Tanis.
Yes. Report signature.
All right, I think the first thing I'll just talk about the state budget. Unfortunately, it was not what we were hoping for. The governor, in his proposed budget, cut community colleges by $20 million. That may be a number that's familiar to you, because that was the amount that it was cut in last year's budget, which the legislature put back, by June 30th. We were really believing that it was not going to get cut this year, but it did get cut. It is a very difficult budget in Trenton. This one is a little different. Last year we were one of the few groups cut. This year there were a lot of cuts in the budget, and for example, in K-12 funding last year, the governor added almost $1 billion to the budget. This year, only it was $300 million or so was added to the budget. Big difference. So we're going to be working hard for the next couple of months. We were hoping not to have to do this again, but we will be. I'm testifying before the Senate Budget Committee next week. I know we've got some people going to testify before the Assembly tomorrow. We'll be meeting with all of the legislators, and we will be doing our thing. The good news is the governor's office has blessed our trying to get money back. They, sometimes governor's offices say, no, we want you to support our budget. No, they said if you can get the legislature to put it back, power to you. And we're going to be working to do that. It would be about $1 million cut for us, which would not be. So we're going to be working. We're going to be doing letter writing. We'll be doing everything you could imagine between now and June 30th in order to get that done. But it's discouraging that's occurred. In addition to cutting just our operating aid, they eliminated tier 2 and tier 3 from the program, which allows students to go to tuition free to college. So it used to be $65,000 and under. That has remained, but there were 2 tiers from $80,000 and from $100,000 where you got partial tuition. Those were eliminated in the governor's budget. That is also a very disappointing. I mean, that was one of his signature programs. So we're kind of disappointed that got cut in the budget as well. So we will see what happens. This year, we know that we got a lot of other groups that are competing to get money restored in the budget. So it's going to be a challenge. I'm not as optimistic as I once was, but we're going to give it our best shot. And it's certainly very much needed. The other thing I'll report on is we did have the largest delegation at the ACCT Legislative Conference in Washington last month. More people from PCCC were there than any other of the New Jersey community colleges. I think we did a great job. We met with our delegation. We certainly got a great reception from them. A lot's going on in Washington. We will be discussing some of that later in closed session, but these are interesting times. Go to Stephanie.
So I am back for part 2 with onboard. So I'm just gonna give you a quick refresher now that if you have set up your login and you're able to view the materials, or if you have not, this was just gonna give you a quick refresher of how to navigate the portal. So when you log in, and if you have any issues with your password, I can reset it for you at any time, just let me know. This is the landing page, so it's gonna have upcoming meetings at the top. And then board announcements. So what I've done here is I put the dates for commencement, the dates of some of the foundation events. Again, the goal being that you can find everything you need in one spot instead of having to look at multiple emails from me, calendar invites and that sort of thing. So this is the landing page. When you go into the meetings, so you'll see here we are for this evening's meeting and then the upcoming. So I'm using Mike Sarone's login right now. So there is an operations committee meeting scheduled in April. So not all of you will see that on when you log in, but again, that's the benefit. You're only going to see the stuff that you need to. But that's why this is listed here. Some of you did this and I thank you. Some of you RSVP'd to the meeting. So that is going forward going to be really helpful if those of you can do that, just so we know who's attending virtually, who to look for, who's not available at all when we're trying to make sure we have a quorum and everything. So thank you to those of you that did that without even me saying anything. So for tonight's meeting, I just want to go over real quick the agenda, and you'll see, speaking of joining virtually, so that will always be an option. Not sure if anyone on Zoom did it this way, but you will be able to just click this button and get right into the Zoom meeting. So here is the book. Same as the paper, all the same information, it's just presented in a different way. So here's the table of contents, and I just want to point out a couple of things. One, on the table of contents, you can, if it has any attachments and you click on it, it'll jump right to that page. So if you're looking for something specifically, say for example, one of the memos on a grant, click on it, it'll jump right ahead to that. So that's a nice feature that you don't have to go searching through. This is a very large, given the large purchasing memo. And then if you're looking at it from, I don't even want to say the left side, kind of the middle of the screen, anything that has this little icon by it, has attachments with it as well. So just a couple things to point out as you're getting used to the portal. I think I just want to now. So as you're scrolling through, you, like I said, you can do it 197 days. You can go through it by clicking the arrow, or like I said, you can jump ahead. And then one other thing I just want to point out, not so much with the packet for tonight, but the resources tab. This, we spoke about this in the last meeting as well. This is gonna have all other documents that if you want to keep everything in one spot. So we talked about the committees, so everybody can see all the minutes from all the committee meetings, whether you attended or not. So they're all there. And they'll be added nonstop. And then the after actions, I loaded the last 2 years in chronological order. So those are all there. If you want, you know, we can go back as far as we want, but we just started with 2 years to get it started. The board policy manual. So all of those things, again, trying to make as much as you would need in one spot as user friendly as possible. Again, if you choose to use it, great. Again, we're gonna make paper packets. If you don't want it, that's fine too.
We're gonna follow your lead.
We're gonna, whatever your preference, everyone has a different style, but if you're using the portal and you know, if you do the RSVP, that'll be helpful.
And we'll have computers here for you.
Yep, you
so-
never have to bring it unless.
You don't have to bring anything. If you wanna go log in and do it this way, great. Whatever
Completely
you,
optional.
completely optional, whatever works for you.
Thank you, Stephanie. You're welcome.
All right, so on the agenda this evening, couple of things, we have New Jersey Council of the Arts program grant applications. This is from our Cultural Affairs Department, applying to some outside groups require that the board approve when we apply for certain monies. In terms of the Carl Perkins Career and Technical Education Grant, when we ask for a budget revision, they require me to come to you and ask for that. So that is why that is in here. Shared services agreement with Borough of Paramus, like, well,
Sure, so we've done this before with them, they've been repairing the vehicles that we have. Fire Academy. For some reason, they prepared an agreement for 2024. I never saw it until maybe 4 or 6 weeks ago. Apparently, we only had one truck service during that time. So we're just catching up a little bit on that. They did increase the rate of their hourly rate, but it's still affordable for us, and our folks are very happy with the service. So, you have any questions?
Mike, could I ask a quick question on this?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I looked at the agreement. There's no, is there any kind of warranty on the repairs or any kind of workmanship provision in there in
No.
regards to what kind of work they're gonna do?
No.
I didn't see that, and I was a little confused why that's not in there.
Good question. I got this kind of after the fact, if you will. Something to look for when we do this. I assume we'll do this again at the end of this year. I will say that they've been very happy with the service that they've been
Oh,
getting
okay.
from the borough.
It doesn't have to, so it doesn't, you're basically telling me that it really doesn't have to have a workmanship or workership clause.
Yeah, you know, it's tough to get anybody that can do this work. Apparently Paramus is doing this for other entities as well.
other fire departments.
Yeah.
It sounds like most local governments have their fire equipment serviced by Paramus. That's, maybe they developed an niche there.
No, okay, all right, no, I like I said, I was not familiar with this, so that's why I was asking that
That's a
question.
good question.
All right, Rifle Camp Park Environmental Center Management Agreement. Oh, did you do that one too?
Sure, so this is a fun little story. I think Steve encompassed in his memo to you. But the Environmental Center Rifle Camp replaces a very old building called the Nature Center. We found out after we had awarded the contract, the building had been funded by a grant from the state of New Jersey that originated with the National Park Service. And the National Park Service and the state have regulations that this stuff that's in parkland can't be used by an educational institution. And we had to sell them on the fact that we were gonna be providing a lot of services to people in the park, a station for the ranger, restrooms, meeting rooms, the ability for, the building to be used to teach about nature and environmental sciences, and an upgraded, a telescope, which was one of the features of the original building. They said, okay, fine, but we need to see an agreement. The county, so the county administrator was still the county council, and I negotiated the agreement, basically that you see here, sent it off to the state. State wanted one minor change, we made it, state sent it on to the federal government. And 2 years later, with the building nearing completion, they said, okay, we can work with this. So, I think it's a fair agreement. I think it certainly reflects the understanding we had going into this with the county when we agreed to partner with them, use chapter of money to do this project. So, I think it's a win-win all the way around. Now, with the blessing of the National Park Service, we can be sure they're not gonna come in and try to tear the building. So I recommend that you move on.
And the good news is, despite many delays in getting this building finished, mostly because of delays from PSC&G, we appear that within about 6-8 weeks, we should be done. So.
Hey.
Other reflecting on his experiences dealing with contractors.
Yep. All right, and last but not least, revised proposed FY 25-26 chapter 12 capital budget. Good news, mostly. So every year, you know the way this chapter 12 program works. This is where when we do our capital construction, the state and the county share the debt service between the two. And the way it works is money only becomes available in chapter 12 as the bonds are paid off. So every year, there has to be a calculation by the State Office of Public Finance, how much money is available to distribute to the colleges for the following year in chapter 12. It appears someone in the state office undercalculated the number which was available to the colleges when they gave us this number in early December. So when we came to you in January, we believed that we would only have $4,490,000 in available chapter 12 for us. And instead, we actually are going to have $6,025,140 in chapter 12. So by giving you a revised number, when we go to the county for our board of school estimate to ask them to do chapter 12, and obviously we love chapter 12 because it's, you know, the state is paying half the bill, so it's great money to have. So we're asking you just to approve the increase going to the county of our request. What we will use the money for is, you know, we're in the middle of this energy savings improvement plan. We've got several projects we'd like to do and accelerate. This will allow that to happen. And in addition, we're always looking for money just for general classroom renovation, lab renovation to make sure we're staying up. So that's what that is about. Happy to answer any questions about that.
All right, we have a resolution to meet an executive session. Should be a discussion of personnel, contract negotiations, and matters protected by attorney-client privilege. May I have a motion on resolution number 2 to meet an executive session?
I'll move it.
Second, Theo.
Well, roll call.
Trustee Actor.
Yes.
Trustee Drakeford.
Yes.
Trustee Glovin.
Yes.
Trustee Diodene.
Yes.
Trustee Moody.
Yes.
Trustee Ramirez.
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
trustee Sumter,
Yes.
vice chair Tanis.
Yes. We will meet in executive session for approximately 20 minutes, discuss personnel, contract matters, and matters protected by attorney-client privilege. No action will be taken in executive session.
Roll back. Roll back.
Okay,
Okay, good.
meeting is called to order. The board met in executive session to discuss personnel, contract matters, and matters protected by attorney-client position. Privilege. No action was taken in the executive session. Action items, resolution number 3. Can I have a motion to adopt resolution number 3, which includes A through G, New Jersey State Council on the Arts, Carl Perkins Career, Shared Service Agreements, Rifle Camp Park, revised proposed FY 25-26 budget, purchase of goods and services, personnel items.
So moved.
Ramirez, second. Sumter. Roll call.
Trustee Octor,
Yes.
trustee Drakeford,
Yes.
trustee Glovin,
Mike, you're on mute.
Yes.
trustee Diodene,
Should step off.
Yes.
Thank you, Dia.
trustee Moody,
Yes.
trustee Ramirez,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
trustee Sumter,
Yes.
vice chair Tanis.
Yes. Remarks from the public.
So much bubble.
Any remarks from the trustees? Hearing no remarks from either one, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Ramirez, second. Second. Okay. Roll call.
Trustee Octor,
Yes.
trustee Drakeford,
Yes.
trustee Glovin,
Yes.
trustee Diodene,
Yes.
trustee Moody,
Yes.
trustee Ramirez,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
trustee Sumter,
Yes.
vice chair Tanis.
Yes. Meeting is adjourned at 7:45 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Take care all.
Good night. Good night.
Yeah, so she.
I saw, I didn't know it.
But
I didn't know what time it was.
That's what I thought.
Oh, yeah, see, I-